Let's begin today's Vanguard news with sharpening your pointy pencils with reused promo cards as box toppers for DZLBT01 this September. Bushiroad at least had the decency to make these borderless, so you can look at Jennifer's feet you sick son of a. As predicted, DZBT05 will come out for the English game in December. Those building Leelodium need to rest easy during the holiday season, since their waifu investment will be made obsolete as Arian Nitros will come out a month after. Like with our quote-unquote English exclusive restriction list, Bushiroad Global will be releasing our English exclusive product. Many players speculate that this will just be the Vegula start deck people in Japan got with the purchase of Koro Koro comics. Unless it contains the Regalis Peace Blitz Order Union the Sky and an Energy Crest, nobody will ever buy this outside of an actual new player thinking it's a good entry point into the game. On a side note, at least we know there's a product coming out in November supposedly. If you like Office Ladies Dragons and Advanced Weaponry, these new cards for Brandt Gate and Dragon Empire in DZBT04 are for you. Blitz Server Kaitina when put on the Guardian Circle lets you pay 3 energy if you have 3 or more products in your order zone to get 20k shields. Guess we know where she gets those 20k shields from, those big juicy burgers that she clumsily dropped. Hope to see more 25k shield grade 2 units in the future for other nations, if you know what I mean. Blitz publicist Findlichter when discarded during your idol main phase lets you call her to rear guard if you have a grade 3 or higher Welstra Vanguard. And once per turn while on rear guard, you can pay 4 energy if you have a grade 3 or higher Welstra Vanguard to operate a product in your order zone with a grade equal or lower than your opponent's Vanguard, and that product's operate cost is reduced by 1 counter blast. So every deck seems to be getting a Maple clone these days, and Brandt Gate already had combined Russia. And there's probably some dark humor in the fact that she uses more energy than Welstra himself, just so the product uses 1 less counter blast. Get where Al Dragon is your typical D-series starter. That is making me wonder why the hell are all the destined users starting Vanguard looks so much better than their main grade 3 unit. Racket Enwer for Dragon when ridden over by Gatling Cannon. A dragon lets you call itself to rear guard then soul charge 1 card. And while on rear guard, it gets 10k power if it's chosen by your grade 3 or higher Alquilibra Vanguard's ability this turn. This basically just plays Ember Dragon, but with the overcharge mechanic instead of just getting 2k power. Gatling Cannon Dragon when ridden over by a grade 3 Alquilibra card lets you add up to 1 grade 3 or lower card from the top 3 cards of your deck and putting the rest to the bottom of your deck. Then soul charge 1 card if you added a card with the overcharge ability. It's good for what it does as a right line card that can potentially give you your persona right next turn. Destined 1 of Scales Alquilibra once per turn while on Vanguard lets you pay 2 Soul Blast to give 3 of your rear guards 5k power. Then draw a card and this unit gets 10k power if you chose 2 or more rear guards with the overcharge ability. And once per match, you can pay 1 counter blast if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher to give 2 of your rear guards 5k power. Then deal 1 damage to your opponent's Vanguard, and any trigger power from that damage is reduced by 10k power. This card's first ability reminds me of Soul Saver Dragon right down to the cost. Wait a minute, holy shit, this card is Soul Saver Dragon if she had a child with Dragonic Overlord the Purge. Seriously, the divine skill is a weaker version of the Purge's direct damage skill. Dragrita Feriza while on rear guard gets 10k power when she boost if she was chosen by your grade 3 or higher Alquilibra Vanguard's ability this turn. Then you can retire herself at the end of the battle if you did not countercharge this turn to countercharge 1 damage. Expect Vugamains to be angry how new Dragon Empire deck gets a countercharger waifu before they even could. On a side note, I'm surprised they didn't name this card as a Dust Storm unit. Panzer Skrek Dragon while on rear guard lets you pay 3 energy when it attacks and was chosen by your grade 3 or higher Alquilibra Vanguard's ability this turn to get 15k power. Then draw a card and retire itself at the end of that battle. As a Thegria main, I feel threatened by this new deck. Her only specialty is giving at most 30k power via double persona ride. Now here comes a deck that can also do the same outside of a persona ride with less investment and has more benefits. To equilibrize the scales of the world is a normal order card that can only be played by paying 1 counterblast and have a Alquilibra Vanguard to call up to 2 grade 3 or lower cards with different names and have the overcharge ability from your drop zone. Did Bushiroad seriously just give Alquilibra a 2-for-1 revival order card that only cost 1 counterblast? Expect Dancing Princess of Elegant Flames Justina to suddenly go up in price. Dragontree Riddle when placed on rearguard lets you pay 1 counterblast if you have 2 more units with the overcharge ability to draw a card and soul charge 1 card. And while on rearguard, he gets 10k power if he was chosen by your grade 3 or higher Alquilibra Vanguard's ability this turn. I don't know why, but this card reminds me of Stealth Fiend Tenrei but more utility. Finally, Dragontree Shalhoub while on rearguard during your turn gets 5k power if you have 3 or more units with the overcharge ability. And once per turn while on rearguard, you can pay 3 energy when your Vanguard attacks a grade 3 or higher unit and this unit was chosen by your grade 3 or higher Alquilibra Vanguard's ability this turn to stand himself and get 10k power. The deck's obligatory restander that uses energy, that running Foulheart might conflict with the deck, especially if you want to do 5 attacks. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if I gave Kai and Aichi shippers a reason to play Alquilibra.